morning and welcome to this edition of the St. Mark Spark. It is Wednesday, May the 6th, and I'm going to be reading from this morning the book of Exodus chapter 33, verses 1 through 6. So hear now the word of the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Go and leave this place, you and the people whom you've brought up out of the land of Egypt. Go to the land that I promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob when I said, I'll give it to your descendants. I'll send a messenger before you. I'll drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Go to this land full of milk and honey. But I won't go up with you because I would end up destroying you along the way, since you are a stubborn people." When the people heard the bad news, they were sorry. No one put on any jewelry, because the Lord had said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you are a stubborn people. If I were to go up with you even for a single moment, I would destroy you. So now take off of your jewelry while I figure out what to do with you." So after leaving Mount Horeb, the Israelites rid themselves of the jewelry. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Now this story does not end there. Eventually, Moses meets God in the tent after he sets it up outside of the camp, not amidst the Israelites, where God says God cannot go for fear of destroying his people. God goes out into the tent and meets Moses. And Moses pleads for the Israelites, and he pleads for God to be with the Israelites. And God does eventually change God's mind or listen to Moses and decide to go with the people of Israel. But it made me think about how right now, as I walk through the halls of the church, there's no one there. There's myself, sometimes Pastor Dave. On Thursdays, we have a small group there to record our worship service. I bump into Ms. Letitia once in a while. Pretty much that's it in the halls, and it seems pretty empty. And sometimes it can feel as though God has left the building. And I was thinking about it this morning. The old Elvis has left the building, and God is not a human. And Elvis being a person, Elvis could leave the building. We being human beings, we could leave the building. And I suppose if God wanted to, God could make God's self absent from any place in the world. But I know in my heart of hearts that God is still there, and that God is at work within the true church, which is within each one of us. And we have left the building. And so in that way, I guess God has left the building, has left the four walls, gone outside those four walls into the world, to wherever we are finding ourselves sheltering. It can seem a little lonely. It can seem as though God did not leave the building, that God is still sitting in church waiting for us to show up, that we are alone by ourselves. But God sent the Holy Spirit, and we're going to talk about that in a few weeks as we are quickly approaching Pentecost Sunday. God sent the advocate in the Holy Spirit to be with us, to reside in us, to be around us and within us in our waking and our sleeping, and to guide us and to be our companion. So we are truly never alone, but being human, it's sometimes hard to not feel that way. So there's a couple of Psalms I want to read as well, because as we cry out to God, "Where are you, God?" I'm reminded that in Psalm 13, David, or the psalmist, cried out to God in this way: "How long will you forget me, Lord? Forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long will I be left to my own wits, agony filling my heart? Daily? How long will my enemy keep defeating me? Look at me. Answer me, Lord my God. Restore sight to my eyes. Otherwise, I'll sleep the sleep of death, and my enemy will say, I won. My foes will rejoice over my downfall. But I have trusted in your faithful love. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. Yes, I will sing to the Lord because he has been good to me. And then in Psalm 121, we read, I raise my eyes toward the mountains. Where will my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. God won't let your foot slip. Your protector won't fall asleep on the job. No, Israel's protector never sleeps or rests. The Lord is your protector. The Lord is your shade right beside you. The sun won't strike you during the day, neither will the moon at night. The Lord will protect you from all evil. God will protect your way of life. The Lord will protect you on your journeys, whether going or coming, from now until forever from now. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. May you take these words, may you eat them, may you think them, may you breathe them, may you live them, walk them, contemplate on them, remembering that God is in the midst of everything and everyone. And God has not left us alone. I'm going to leave you with this last bit. I have a book of poems here by a great poet who is no longer with us, Maya Angelou. This poem is called Alone. Lying thinking last night how to find my soul a home, where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. There are some millionaires with money they can't use. Their wives run round like banshees. Their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone. But nobody, no, nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering. The wind is going to blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan. 'Cause nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone. Nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. God be with you this day and this week and forevermore. Peace be with you.